To Prakshay 2020 World's First Online Festival for Ayurvedic Life Sciences. We have some esteemed guests who've joined us. Sunaina Rekhi, my dear friend, a sister from a different mother who represented India at the UN. Sarvesh Shashi, a youth model, founder of Sarva Yoga and Diva Yoga, who has over 200,000 people doing yoga every single morning simply because he inspires. Dr. Mehta, an international holistic health guru and a health coach. He'll be joining us very soon. I would like Sudakshina to introduce.
Well, we have Sarvesh Shashi here, who is a renowned yoga coach and has built a country-wide network of yoga studios called Sarva. He has developed 25 different varieties of yoga for them, partnered with Jennifer Lopez, Malaika Arora, and has panels of the brand all over the world. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, we have Dr. Mickey Mehta too here. I'd like to introduce him too. Dr. Mickey Mehta has been a global leading holistic health guru and corporate life coach for 38 years to billionaires, Bollywood superstars, top politicians, and several Miss Worlds and Miss Universe. He has also trained police, army, navy, and air force. His portfolio of accomplishments has changed the industry. Well, his professional and social legacy both are celebrated by his loyal fans. Thank you so much for joining in, sir. So Sunaina Rekhi, the modern yogini, a lifestyle coach who has mastered the traits of yoga. In 2018, she led the celebrations of International Yoga Day in India along with Vice President Sri Venkaiah Naidu. Last year, she opened the most prestigious International Yoga Day celebration worldwide at the United Nations headquarters in New York. And this year too, she is doing a virtual yoga celebration with the UN. She is all set to represent India. She has worked with brands like Apple, Google, Vodafone, Starbucks, Archduck, and many others. Thank you so much for joining in, and we're looking forward for a great session.
Thank you so much, Sudakshina. I cannot tell you guys how excited I am to have the three very best yogis and yoginis from India onto this panel. We have Sarvesh Shashi, who at a very young age started inspiring people with his yogic practice. We have Sunaina Rekhi, represented India at the UN. That is something that I'm extremely proud of, that one achievement of hers. And Dr. Mickey Mehta, who's been a mentor to me in so many ways. He has literally told me the connection between yoga and Ayurveda, our connections, our conversations with each of you has been so spiritual. Every time we start off with one topic, and I don't know how the topic just ends up in a totally different area. Like, this is my playground. This is my playground. These are my favorite players, and we're ready to play a game called the Ayurvedic approach to yoga. Sunaina, I have the first question for you. Ladies first. What has Ayurveda done for you, and how did yoga start in your life?
I think Ayurveda is equivalent to you, Dimple. So, Ayurveda has been amazing, and thank you for having me here. I feel so honored. And all the students, I first want to just say hello to everybody. What has Ayurveda done? I think Ayurveda is the medical part of yoga. It's the healing part of yoga. Yoga is a beautiful physical healing. It's a psychological healing through meditations. Whereas Ayurveda works with herbs and massages and food. So it's the healing medical, like even the rishis, the yogis, all had an Ayurvedic diet. They believed in Ayurveda. Like naturopathy is a more modern thing that's come up, but the traditional thing of yoga, the sister science of yoga is Ayurveda. And I've loved learning them together. Like being with you, and I've really understood, like when people tell me I need to heal, if you need to heal, you need to do yoga and Ayurveda together. It has to come in together. Yoga is not a healing science. Ayurveda is. Yoga is a therapy, But if you have diseases, if you want to heal, then you really do need to look into Ayurveda.
That's lovely, right? It is a sister approach. For long, what has happened is yoga got an international platform thanks to all the Hollywood people who started practicing yoga. Yoga went from India to the US and came back as Columbus Yoga. And suddenly now we're proud of our heritage, which is good. Something is better than nothing. Ayurveda, unfortunately, took a backseat because of the language gap, the communication gap, the cultural gap. It was misunderstood for so many years to be old-fashioned, traditional, slow. It's time for us to put a limelight onto this as well, because yoga and Ayurveda are sister concerns. And these two prepare your body for meditation so you can attain salvation. Otherwise, you're nothing without salvation. You're just roaming around this karmic cycle born again and again, trying to figure out the purpose of life, right? Dr. Mickey Mehta, please highlight. What do you think of this?
So let me tell you, yoga and Ayurveda are two sides of the same coin. I mean, you may call them sisters or brothers, I don't know, but they are two sides of the same coin. The very word Ayur means life, Veda means science, and mind you, it is not preventive healthcare, it is a creative healthcare. Yoga is not curative, it is productive. So these are the misconceptions which we need to iron out from the perceptions of people's minds. And let me tell you that whether it is Ayurveda or yoga, they work on one element which most sciences or no sciences work upon, which is Akasha. Akasha is ether, the non-local entity which has energy and information which gives rise to matter and polarity. And that Akasha, if you access through foods, through sunshine, through breathing, through meditation, through Yog Nidra, through different levels of alpha, beta, theta, through different kinds of kriyas, and maybe Jal Abhishek, Agni Havan, and so very many other things that you do, you constantly keep uplifting, upregulating, and upgrading not just your immunity. Immunity is the lowest denomination Western science is running after. For yoga, immunity is like an infant child. For yoga, the highest denominator is superconsciousness. So, yoga means yoga asana, the seat of awareness, the seat of consciousness, which brings awareness, patience, resilience, tolerance. The rhythm and flow brings empathy, sympathy, compassion, benevolence, vision, creativity, productivity. Yoga translates into building personalities and characters, evolution. And Ayurveda becomes the spine for that. Although physically, yoga is the spine, but the representation of subtle spine is done by Ayurveda, because Ayurveda refers to breath as swara. Swara, from left to right, right to left to right, right to left. Both nostrils keep switching every 45 minutes. But when you are in dhyana, when you are in pratyahara, when you are in dharana, samadhi, those moments, and when you are in asanas, both nostrils function together in harmony, in equi-balanced state, and most importantly, left and your right side of brains, they get activated together, neural firings together, synaptic connections together, and microtubulars which connect the two brains, which has quantum fluctuation, which was not known until the last 10 years. They also get activated to receive and transmit signals. So swara se bane sur. Swara and sur make swarg. And when you do Ayurveda and yoga in Sangat, you give rise to Geet, and the Sangat and Geet make Sangeet. And this Sangeet resonates with 7 billion hearts, 7 billion minds. They throb together, vibrate together with uni-vibratory frequency, which becomes a grid of harmony, love,
Lovely.
prosperity.
You know, the biggest illusion in this world and this universe is the illusion of separation. That we're all separated, your organs are separated, you need to do individual surgeries for different organs and individual medication. That's not the truth. Holistic science says body, mind, and emotion are all one uniform, unified particle. And that's where Ayurveda and yoga plays a role. Swara is bringing this breath, living in the moment of consciousness, living in awareness, living in kindness and empathy. Sarvesh, I want you to pitch in here and tell me, what made you get into yoga? You are like 27, 28 years old. I must tell the viewers, this gentleman is a junior from my school, and I got to know about it later. And I was like, you are like literally 8 to 10 years younger than me. What made you get into yoga? So young and so early in age. Tell us a true story. We want to know everything.
Thank you, Dimple. Thank you, Prana. Thank you, Dr. Chandra, Janda Jain University, for having all of us here. I'm an ant sitting in between two elephants, which is Sunaina and Dr. Mickey, and they've done, and doing such amazing stuff in making a difference in people's lives. I obviously both Dr. Mickey and Sunaina are extremely well versed, both theoretically and practically. Fortunately, I've just completed my 12th. I've not done anything post that. So you can only be my senior in school, definitely not in college. So I have been fortunate to have started yoga at the age of 6. And I'm 28 now. It's been 22 years I've been doing. I think I got into meditation when I was about 17, accidentally. And today being Father's Day, my father put me into yoga because he couldn't complete the classes. And that's how I got into the yoga space and the mindfulness part of it. I met this teacher who had long hair, long beard, orange clothes. I thought, okay, he's going to be another godman asking me to fall at his feet. But surprisingly, he said, Sarvesh, if you ever think I can enlighten you, you are a fool and I'm a bigger fool. Because spirituality means adhyatmak. Adhyatmak means apne taraf ana, which means coming to oneself. So you need to do it. I can be a guide, tell you, listen, like a swimming coach, udhar deep hai, idhar deep nahi hai. You can swim if you want to, and if you survive, you survive. So I said, great. I took up the 5 precepts of life when I was 18. I've gone on Maunvrat for 40 days, used to meditate for 9 hours a day and so on. When I was 18, I took up the 5 precepts of life. No intoxication, which is no alcohol, no smoking, no meat. Non-violence through actions, thoughts and words. I don't remember the last time I killed a mosquito. Third one was no mental and physical stealing. Physical stealing is you physically steal. Mental stealing is, oh, Mickey, you have a nice watch. Sunaina, you have this, etc., etc. I want it. Jealousy, greed, etc. Fourth is no lying. I can't even white lie. If I'm late because I overslept, I'm late because I overslept, not because there was traffic on the road. Fifth one was by far the most difficult because of my age and the accessibility I had was celibacy. And I assumed all of this was for 40 days. I rhetorically told my teacher, 40 din ke liye to kar denge. He said, 40 din mein Sarvesh 7 saal. I'm like, wait. 7 saal, you mean 7 years? Isn't that like my prime time to clearly do a couple of things in it? He said, it is your prime time to go inward. So I started at 18. I'm 28. It's been 10 years. I've not broken any of it. So I think yoga has genuinely changed my life. And Ayurveda has been a very big part of my family and my mother. And I call my mother a non-registered Ayurvedic doctor. I mean, if she's bored, all of us go for a hobby. Her job is to go to Ayurvedic hospital, get admitted for 40 days, start learning. So she gets treated also. She gets a bunch of other things. So my sister is getting engaged on July 12th. And my sister's fiance owns one of India's largest and best Ayurvedic resorts and hospitals. It's done by a doctor called Dr. Ravindran as well. And they've treated the prime ministers and whatnot. So the theoretical part of it, I'm not well versed in, and I don't like to preach what I don't practice. But certainly yoga has changed my life. And Ayurveda has changed a lot of people's lives I have seen, and definitely including mine as well. In terms of like Dr. Mickey said, it is the medicine that for your body in terms of consumption in different ways, right? Because your food is medicine with regards to whether it's Ayurveda or yoga, whatever, and it kind of course corrects that. Like Mickey said, it's your spine and so on. Because both Mickey and Sunaina, I think, are both theory and practicals. They've lived that life. I've been only in the part of doing yoga, doing some meditation, and definitely I think I've been fortunate to spread this quite well globally. Now we're present in about 110 countries, so we're fairly good that way.
Fairly good. That's a sign of humbleness. Fairly good. Just 110 countries. You can count from 2 hands. That's Sarvesh Shashi.
Right? Yeah, our vision says connecting 7 billion breaths. So yeah, at some time.
Sarvesh, hats off to you. Despite your accomplishments, you have your head over your shoulders. Back in the day when grandmothers used to give us khichdi is a sattvic diet. And they said, if you eat too much khichdi, you end up having spiritual ego, which is equally dangerous. As dangerous as having a regular ego, spiritual ego will be your head in the clouds, and you won't know when your head will get detached from your body. So you know what the grandmothers would do? They'll put a dollop of ghee to bring your vata down, and they'll put a dollop of pickle, fermented tamasic food, onto a sattvic meal, a little bit, to keep your ego in place. That was grandmother's trick to keep a head on their shoulders. And I'm so happy that Sarvesh, despite all your accomplishments, you know where your heart is. you know where your soul is. You know the 10 negative emotions, the 10 cool emotions that we must stay away from. Ayurveda talks about 10 negative emotions like anger, jealousy, greed, frustration, and stuff like that. Jainism talks about 18 negative emotions. It's called Athara Papasan, Alavam Pranatipat, Nushavat, Adadan, Metun, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, Rag, Dvesh, Kalla, Vyakan, Paishuna, Par, Parivad, Rati, Rati, Maya, Nushavat, Mitra, Darshan, Chalya. Sorry, I had to say it in one breath. But just like how you're connecting 7 billion breaths, we would like Ayurveda to become part of a daily lifestyle, a global practice, despite language barrier, cultural barrier. We want to bridge that gap so that people from all nationalities, ethnicity, caste, creed, community can start practicing that. And we need young people like you, including Dr. Mickey, who's very young. He's knocking 5 years off his age every year. He's becoming like 30, 25, 20. Very soon he'll become like 8 years old. And the rate at which he's reversing aging forces.
I'm sorry, I'm a fan of Sunaina too. She's no less.
Yeah.
Sunaina was coming to, I was looking at Sunaina, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Sunaina is probably the most glamorous yoga teacher I've met. One of the most glamorous yoga teachers I've met. You will never tell her age, and I will never tell her age. I've sworn to secrecy. Sunaina, we need people like you. We need people like Sarvesh Shashi and Dr. Mickey to take yoga, to take Ayurveda to a global platform. And you did that at the UN. I saw the video of Sunaina Rekhi at the United Nations office teaching yoga to some 1,000, 2,000 people. She had the Rishi Munis dressed in saffron white clothes, jumping like that. And I was like, oh my God, Sunaina, what are you doing? That is Sunaina. Sunaina, where is that magic coming from? Where is that passion, that energy coming from? That's like that unlimited energy inside of you. Where?
So
How?
Sarvesh is celibate, and I'm trying to make all the celibate people jump. So,
well said.
really, I just have this energy. It doesn't go, and I see that in Mickey also, like a lot of energy. Like I see that in a man, like doom, 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 doom. And I think it comes from, I think, I was all over the place when I was younger, and so many like young people are also watching. I was, oh my God, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do that, and now I'm going to do this. And it was all over. And it's been 12 years since I've been practicing. But I think for me, it's not just yoga. It's yoga, of course. It's my family, of course. But it's everybody that I teach. It's every moment, even if I say one thing that helps somebody, however tired I am, I get energy from them. Like they give me energy, I give them energy. And it's really I like to help. And I think what I'm trying to learn is I need to learn how to receive help. So this is my moment of a journey where if you're giving, you should learn how to receive as well. So I think when I'm doing yoga and I'm doing mental health, I realized myself, Dimple, that it was like, oh my God, I need to learn to receive. I need to learn to also feel supported. And I think yoga teaches you that self-awareness. Yoga is self-love. It makes you fall in love with yourself. Like, I love where I am today. I'm not saying that I don't want to reach somewhere else as well. But at least everybody has inspirations, aspirations to be somewhere else. But at least be happy also where you are. Be happy in that present moment of where you are, and then aspire. But mostly people are never happy with where they are. They just want to reach somewhere else. So I think this practice, this discipline has helped me in that a lot.
In fact, we had a conversation about this several times. And we've done several live streams together, like Dr. Mickey and you and me and Dr. Sarvesh Shashi. People are living in the past. Past doesn't exist. It's just a painful memory or an experience in your mind. People live in anxiety of the future. The future doesn't exist. It's just a figment of your imagination. The only thing that exists is now. But unfortunately, you've let go of now because you're worrying about the future and in grievance of the past. The past and the future both don't exist. It's just a figment of your imagination and a memory in your mind. Your mind doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. If I imagine myself being successful, reality makes it happen. The universe makes it happen. And that's where I'd like Dr. Mickey to pitch in and talk about the power of the mind, how important it is for us to switch from the analytical mind to the intuitive mind, power of now, to the whole process of acceptance, because we learn how to be kind to others. We're constantly saying, be kind to others. No one is saying, be kind to yourself. We lost some young people last 1 week, some of our clients, in fact, who gave up on life. Be kind to yourself first before being kind to others. Dr. Mickey, how important is it to switch to our intuitive mind, to empathy, kindness, and emotions?
Okay, so instead of social distancing, Vairagya is about distancing from desires. Now, distancing from desires is not by force. So, no daman. Daman shouldn't happen. In fact, let going should happen, which yoga teaches us. With every breath, you release the knots of your physicality, physiology, emotions, and psychology. And of course, then spirituality gets very buoyant. So, Zen says, empty the mind and mind the emptiness. So, mind full of clutter, instead, you become mindful of light of awareness. So, there is a bit of paradox here. So, Tattvamasi is also a principal philosophy which says this is that is, and that is all what it is. So, as you say here now, the constant continuity, the constant perpetuity, the continuity in discontinuity, and discontinuity in continuity is what probably the mind experience. The experience is by contrast, which is polarities. But when you get completely centered, the contrasts disappear, the millions and billion bits and pieces of your perception through your five horses of senses which bombard you, they become one piece, your common sense. No five disintegrated, degenerated senses. So one piece, PIECE, brings back absolute centered PEACE, and that is what we say कि नाभि पे मन को केंद्रित करना, नाभि पे आत्मा को अपनी अवस्था को, अपनी स्थिति को. So when we say स्वास्था, स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में उपस्थित, स्वयं की उपस्थिति से जागृति, सजगता, दृष्टा भाव, सचेतन मन, और स्वास्था मीन्स स्वयं में आस्था, मनोबल, Atmavishwas, and of course, Atma Bal. So, if mind is actually a negative connotation, because the mind only exists in the future or in the past. In the here now, there is only awareness and superconsciousness that exists. And if you have your finger on the pulse every moment and you put all your attention in now, you can be the manifester of your own reality. So, I say that we can co-create our destinies. We have legs to walk towards it with full awareness, hands to make it with full consciousness, eyes to see it, mind to perceive it, heart to believe it, and a soul to achieve it. Like Rig Veda says, we are what our deepest desires are. As are our desires, so is our will. As will be our will, so will be our intentions. As will be our intentions, so will be our deeds. And as will be our deeds, so will be our destiny. Yatha pinde tatha brahmande. The first yogi of the world ever said that. So, mind is nothing but a non-existential which we bring into existence when we get bombarded by senses and get attached to them. You walk into a party, you look at people, and then you look at them more, they will come to you and shake hands. But if you just browse through them with drashta bhav, without attaching and connecting with them, you are connected, but you don't connect with them. Once again, there is a virodhabhas. There is a vipreet angle here, the paradox. So you connect, but you don't connect and attach. But drashta bhav is all. They will not come to you and attach. So thoughts are like that. If you latch on, they'll stay with you. You let them go. It's like a sky. Clouds will come, clouds will go. The more you watch and don't entertain the clouds or your thoughts, the more they won't come to you because they will feel ignored. They also have ego.
Lovely, very well said. You know, I love the few points that you touched upon. Consciousness, awareness. I keep saying this to my students in class. Make decisions from your gut. Think from your heart. Make sure there is empathy, kindness, and compassion in your decision. And execute that decision from your brain. And I love that one sentence you said, letting go. The whole of life, it was said in Life of Pi. I love that movie, Irfan Khan's movie. That one line stayed with me. The whole of life is the act of letting go. Sarvesh, you have mastered the act of letting go. You do not attach yourself to your accomplishments, to your, your company or to what you do. In fact, you know, when I was coordinating with Sarvesh, I said, give me a secretary's number, I'll get the pictures. And he's like, what secretary? Who's secretary? And I was like, are you kidding me? 200,000 subscribers across 110 countries and you don't have a secretary. This man, in the power of now. Tell me, how do you do it, Sarvesh? At the age of 28, you've understood the power of now and the act of letting go.
I'll probably slightly rephrase it. I don't know whether I've understood the power of now. Yes, I've been trying to understand. Let me put it that way, because if I've understood the power of now, then I think in the art ang of yoga, the eighth, which is the samadhi, I would have probably attained samadhi. And I don't know whether I'll be sitting here, honestly. I think the importance is for me as an individual to do two things. One is acceptance, that first I need to know that I don't know what I don't know. That's very critical. And the second is gratitude. And both these teach me a sense of detached attachment, which is I'm here fully, right? I completely focus on this particular panel. I speak to everybody. I listen to everybody speaking, etc. Once this is done, yes, I should not be dwelling in the past, because what happens is today human beings, just to for all the people who are understanding it in a very simplistic manner that I've learned, yesterday is over, nothing can be done about it. Tomorrow is not yet come, nothing can be done about it. Live in the now, which is right now, right here awareness. And the only thing that is available right here, right now is your breath. There is nothing else that is available right here, right now. And that practice of being in the now, being aware of your normal and natural breath, not deep inhale, deep exhale. That's different. Your normal and natural breath, understanding what this breath can do, you come to the now, you come in the present, and that can change your life drastically. Like how Mickey also said, mind is again always in the future. If it is in the now, you're always here. Because right here, right now, if I ask everybody, there is no problem. What problem do you have now? I mean, you're talking to us, everybody's talking to each other. There is no problem. But typically when the word problem arises is when we are in yesterday or when we are in tomorrow. So for me, I think I'm very grateful that I have been able to be in a position that I am in today, and I should not take advantage of it. So that's why when you even message there is a secretary, etc. I mean, one more person that a company like us maybe need to let go of, right? Because of the pandemic. So why that one more person? So I'm very grateful and happy, and I think my stroke Sarva, stroke Diva Yoga, everybody that we get associated with, the biggest advantage has been is transparency and honesty as a very simple virtue. And if that ethics, values, and virtue is followed, you're in a very good space. I mean, at the end of the day, we all need to be grateful. Gratitude is life, according to me.
Lovely. Well said, Sarvesh. Well said. So much wisdom for a person of his age. It blows my mind. I should stop saying his age, because this gentleman is an old soul. This gentleman is an old soul, and he speaks wise words that hits you straight at the heart. In fact, Sarvesh, we need more young people like yourself inspiring other youth, because, the pandemic that we've had the last 90 days has been difficult for a lot of people. They haven't been able to understand how to align their body, how to align the chakras back. The disalignment, the disconnect is the reason why some of them fell down like 9 pins. We lost some beautiful people, and that is heartbreaking. It's so important to align back to mind, emotion, and body. Ayurveda keeps saying all diseases have a psychosomatic origin. There is a placebo effect of herbs. If the person is not ready for treatment, there is nothing your medicines can do. And I've experienced it. Sushant Singh Rajput was a dear client of ours 6 months ago, but he was not ready for treatment or medication, and we couldn't do anything. We felt helpless. And now when I look back, there were few people who came out of clinical depression with Ayurvedic medicines and treatment. That's because they were ready for it. 60% of it was the patient's hard work, willingness to get out of that pandemic or that epidemic that they were going through, or the sickness that they were going through. That willingness is what we need to start inspiring the youth with. And I'm so glad we have people like you leading this from the front.
Thank you so much.
I've been to Diva Yoga. In fact, it's got this beautiful ambience. What I love about the way Sarvesh has set it up? It's ancient science, but let's not make it old-fashioned and boring. Let's pep it up. Let's make it youthful. Let's bring in like bright blue colors. I remember doing inversions with one of those silk ropes, and there was this bright blue lights in the background, and I was like literally looking at it, like, what is a bright blue light doing in a yoga center? And when I looked at the pictures, it looked so surreal, like an angel was descending from the heavens, and I was like, whoa, you just made me feel like a little angel. Thank you so much for that.
Oh,
thank you so much for delivering that emotion. That's more important. So I want to bring in Sunaina into this conversation. Sunaina, you studied Ayurveda with me over 5 days.
Yes.
How did that change your life?
I think it changed my life and whoever I'm in contact with, because I think every time you change something about you, it's a ripple effect that goes everywhere. Like now, somebody asked me, Sunaina, can we do a yoga thing for weight loss? And I was like, I'm not promising anyone weight loss because I can't lie. If they are vata, this will happen. Then I started my Ayurveda. If they are vata, they'll be able to lose. If they are kapha, they can't lose. Then of course the gunas and all come in. But Ayurveda changed my life and it changed so many people's lives. Like I'll call up my sister in Australia and say, Sneha, listen to me. You're feeling very dry. You're feeling a lot of anxiety. Please have some ghee. And it's not like I'll keep it for myself. I will tell her. I will tell anybody that I'm in touch with. And if they have a problem, listen, I think you should have turmeric. And then a friend of mine, Prince, he's a motivational speaker in LA. And he was telling me, he's like, but have it with pepper. And now I'll tell everybody, turmeric and pepper together, okay? So it's for whatever I learn, I want to give. So I think whatever I've learned with Ayurveda has, one, it's made me less dry in and out.
Your vata has converted into kapha now. There's so much compassion and nourishment you want to give.
I'm not kapha yet. It's still far.
Lovely. These are the three building blocks of the human body, right? Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Yeah.
All three have a role to play. Kapha gives you structure, stability, support, and flexibility to your body, and is responsible for kind emotions like empathy, compassion, kindness, love, modesty, forgiveness. Pitta is the digestive fire that digests things in your body. It's responsible for all chemical and metabolic transformations, and it allows you to have ambition, courage, capability, focus, determination, gives you leadership skills, rajasic skills. And Vata is the movement, the bodily wind principle that moves things. It's responsible for all your motor skill abilities, your beautiful ability to dance, to sing, to write prose and poetry. All that creativity comes from that. When we embrace those 5 elements and those 3 doshas in balance, we have good health and amazing souls like these who are in a position to light up like a spark to guide the sinking ships in darkness back to the shore. And that for me is Sarvesh Shashi, Dr. Mickey, and Sunaina here. This is so amazing. So Dr. Mickey, please pitch in. Tell me something.
So, Ayurveda adds value of sattva gun to life.
Yes.
Because when one balances out completely and becomes unidoshi, that is the time the sattva gun rises. And sattva gunas give rise to sanskaras. And these sanskaras eventually help develop and cultivate our personality and character. So let's speak about genetics. When people say you're born of these genes, nothing can happen. But epigenetics say that 95% of your genes are indeterministic. So let them play, activate them, and 5% which are deterministic, let them, brush them away in the carpet. So sattva gun gets elevated with Ayurveda. Also very, very important that Ayurveda gives rise to absolute non-agitated, non-temperamental, and a very calm, tranquilized state of being. I will not use the word mind here. I will say a tranquilized state of being. The parting lines कि अगर बढ़ जाएगी आपकी वाता तो लग जाएगी आपकी बात और अगर बढ़ जाएगा आपका पित्त तो नश हो जाएगा आपका चित्त.
Oh, wow. Well said, Dr. Mickey. So poetic, so poetic.
Next month, I finish 50 years of exercising. I started when I was 8. And I want all the best wishes from all my Ayurveda Yoga associates, partners. I believe the sky and the universe is so open and vast. We all can shine equally. We can collaborate and we can bring a lot of health and healing to the table. So 50 years, I finish next year. I need your blessings, all of you.
Congratulations.
Always. I always say this, Mickey, in the business of wellness, more the merrier. So
more the merrier.
You connecting 7 billion breaths cannot happen with one person.
Absolutely.
It needs to happen with probably millions of people.
All.
Love you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you,
Dimple,
for
bringing. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so happy to have this panel. Thank you so much, Dr. Mickey, for your time, for your energy. I must thank you for your energy, particularly because you bring so much vibrancy and youth You have to be with the youth. That's one of the reasons why I
I
wanted.
think he'll always be youthful.
Thank you,
Like
Sunaina.
there's nothing. He can never be old.
I have
You
to buy you
remember our
coffee
late
now.
nights, Mickey?
100.
We're chilling,
Hello, please
Gandhi.
elaborate. Please elaborate more.
Guys, this is the beauty of this conversation. Despite all the negativity that's going on in the press, in the media, in television and radio, about everything that's going wrong in the world, this is a panel that tells you nothing more beautiful than being light about life, nothing more beautiful than being able to laugh at yourself and at life itself. Because if you don't take life, lightly, life is going to take you very seriously, and that is not going to be pleasant. Right?
Super.
It's not pleasant when life deals us serious blows after blows. You are just creating a home for it then. Yes,
I'll just say two things, right? One is something that my Guruji tells me, and one is something that I keep telling people always. So the first one is what I keep telling people. I keep telling, yes, there's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, whether it's pandemic, pre, post, work, business, life, friends, family. But there's one very important thing that I keep saying. Love like there is no tomorrow. Love like there is no tomorrow. And if tomorrow comes, love again.
Wow.
So that gives you a certain sense of gratitude and compassion. And the second thing is what my Guruji tells me always. Sarvesh, as long as you're breathing, don't worry.
Yeah.
So it's very simple, but it's such a profound thing, because as long as you're breathing, don't worry. Because all of us started from scratch. Mickey didn't have his empire when he was born. Sunaina was not Sunaina and didn't do everything. She didn't, people didn't give birth to her, and she was landed at UN teaching the UN people, right? All of us, you, Dimple, didn't do whatever you're doing, from all of us, and people, whether they are at work, whether they are wherever they have started from scratch. So please ensure that as long as we are breathing, let's be grateful and give all our efforts in making our lives better first, because self-care and self-love is critical, because it all starts from within. Charity doesn't start from home, it starts from within. And then how do you spread that? So thank you, Dimple. Thank you, Dr. Chandra,
so much wisdom,
Prana,
Sarvesh.
and Jain University for making this happen. And I know all the plans that you are kind of making for bringing Ayurveda to the world. If it's vocal for local, like our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji said, what better than yoga and Ayurveda from India to the world, right? So I think all of us need to be playing whatever role we can. And Nikki, please let me, Sunaina, know, and Dimple and everybody else know what we could be a part of your 50th year celebration.
Certainly.
And how
July end we'll have fun. I think we'll have it on Dimple's platform. Let's do that, Dimple.
We'll rap for you, sir.
Absolutely.
We'll rap.
Yeah,
and Dimple,
absolutely.
you must
Thank
declare.
you so much.
Yeah. Dimple,
Yes,
make a
thank you.
declaration that this group is the best today. Come on, Dimple.
For sure, sir. For sure. I tell you what, just looking at the three of you, my energy levels went up. I forgot my formalities. I forgot my manners. I was like, you know what? Forget all of it. I'm going to be myself. This is my playground. These are my players. These are my friends. And I'm going to tell the world, happiness comes from friendship. Nothing beats friendship. You're the sum of the 7 people that you keep company with. And this beautiful panel that simplifies life, that simplifies happiness. There is no reason, there is no explanation or a definition for happiness. Like Sarvesh said, as long as you're breathing, be happy, be grateful. I couldn't have summed up this panel better, Sarvesh. Thank you so much for your kind words. I know you have other speaking engagements. It's International Day of Yoga. I know Dr. Mickey Mehta, you also have other engagements. Sunaina, I want you to stay back because you have another panel tomorrow. Thank you so much, Dr. Mickey and Sarvesh Shashi.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Thanks,
Mickey Mouse in the house. No Dr. Mickey. Bye-bye. Thank you. Love
Mickey
you all.
Mouse, Minnie Mouse will be there in July.
Certainly.
In July.
Catch up with you soon, Sunaina. Bye. See you.
All
Bye.
right, Dr. Mickey, thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank you so much,
Sarvesh.
Sarvesh.
Thank you, Sunaina. Bye.
Sarvesh, love you so much.
Back-to-back
Bye-bye.
engagements. I'll see you at 7:30.
Love to.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Bye.
I love the energy of this panel. What do you say, Sunaina?
This was amazing.
Amazing, right?
Amazing.
What is your source of happiness, Sunaina? You're always smiling. The number of comments I received about your smile. No one would guess your age. No one would guess that she has an 11-year-old beautiful daughter at home. No one would guess that. And she makes the most amazing pizzas when I visit her. Most amazing
yummy.
pizza. And pho. Mariko's recipe pho.
Oh my God, Mariko, we love you. How much pho have I had?
Tell
Yes,
me
so
your source of happiness. Tell me the secret to your smile, because today we're talking about physical, mental, and emotional health, and then spiritual health. Because if you're not happy, you cannot help another person. Like Dr. Mickey said, be kind to
yes,
yourself first before you being kind to others. And Sarvesh said it very well. Charity begins from within, not just at home. Let's go deeper
exactly.
inside and tell me what's the source of your happiness. What
I
makes you
think
wake up every
really,
single morning?
Dimple, I honestly believe that anything that happens to me is teaching me something. It's my coach, it's my mentor. Like whether I lost my father when I was young, I saw my mother widowed, I saw my mother going, she was depressed, she was getting stressed. I had my siblings. I had to shift countries from South Africa back to India. That was hard. I was a teenager. I had a boyfriend at that time, to leave my friends, to leave my family, to come back. Then the divorce, being a single mom. But at the end of it, I look at all of this and I'm like, wow, it made me who I am today. I'm so much stronger. I'm not that little girl who was all over the place. And I never get down, because every time something happens, it doesn't matter. I'm like, this is a chess game. It is like, let's play. You need to always play. Like you said, life is a playground. When people even come for yoga, I'll say, this is your playground. This mat is your playground. Don't judge yourself. We have so many thoughts in our mind. You can't concentrate on one thought and say, so many thoughts can have fear. They can have negativity. It can have stress. It can have anxiety. Don't think of those thoughts. Just think of positive thoughts. And I think my journey and my life is to create positivity in the world. And because of that, I think everyone around me also keeps me positive.
That's
You
amazing,
know?
right? And I love this thing about you, no matter what life has dealt you, no matter how many lemons it gave you, learned how to make lemonade out of it and cherish
Yeah.
that sunshine in your glass. That is the beauty of life, guys. Stop complaining and whining about what you don't have. Start counting the things that you have. Make a list of 50 people in your life that you're grateful for, even the
Yes.
people you've never met who've inspired you. Make a list of 50 things in your life, in your home, that you already have and you're grateful for. Stop counting what you do not have. Start counting what you already have. And the universe loves nothing better than gratitude. The universe loves hope, faith, kindness, empathy. Those are the emotions that should be played in abundance, not negativity, not loss of hope, not loss of faith. Right, Sunaina?
I agree. And even guys, like how Dimple is saying, like 50 people, like think of the 25 people in that list should be people who've given you a hard time, people who have tested you time and time again. Be grateful for them. Those are the people who have really taught you. You have become who you've become, not just because of all the love, but because of all the trauma or the torture or
The
whatever
sum of
you've gone
everything.
through.
You're the
It's
sum
a
of all your
sum of
experiences. In
everything.
fact, the reason why we conducted this festival is to, bring light onto yoga and Ayurveda, because these are two tools available to us to fix what is wrong inside our body, mind, and emotion. Ayurvedic science is a holistic healthcare system and the mother of all healing systems. We studied this together and it was amazing. It's a mother of all healing systems, 5,000 years
Yes.
old. It's a mother of allopathy, homeopathy, naturopathy, acupressure, acupuncture, cupping. Cosmetic surgery, my dear, was invented by Ayurveda 3,000 years ago by Sushruta,
Yeah.
who fixed a nose for a king and a queen, when they had a vulture nose. If you can at least use these tools to fix your body,
Yes.
it's easier to be happy. But if there's toxins in your body, if there's diseases in your body, parasites and drugs and steroids and antibiotics, it's very difficult for your brain to function, because your brain is directly connected to your gut. And gut is where intuition is stored. Gut is where emotions are stored. Gut is where memories are created. Gut is where serotonin and dopamine is created. You need to go to the root cause of your happiness, which is the gut. Fix it with Ayurveda, with yoga, with herbal medicines. And this is literally the crux of today's conversation. Happiness unlimited, the pursuit of happiness through Ayurveda and yoga.
Yoga. Yes.
Sunaina, thank you so much for being on the panel. I couldn't be more grateful
All
to you.
right.
I know you're
Thank
from
you,
batch number
Dimple. I
18.
love you. I always say I love you. You are my sister, like you said, from another mother and another father.
So you are amazing, Sunaina. I love your love for life, your vibrancy, and your youth. Age is just a number. Your youth is like a fountain of unconditional happiness and love. May you always be blessed. May you always continue to spread this light and happiness to everyone you know.
Bye,
Thanks a lot.
everyone. Thank you
Bye,
for
guys.
watching.
At this point of time, the world is realizing that preventive health care is need of the hour. Swami Vivekananda always emphasized that mind, body and soul requires right kind of thoughts and nutrients. What better than yoga and Ayurveda, a natural science which is deeply rooted in our tradition and culture, which gives us the opportunity to explore ourselves for our well-being. This philosophy is deeply embedded in our roots. Prevention is better than cure. Yoga and Ayurveda enriches our immune system. It helps us in developing our mental and physical well-being, and it's a way of life. At Jain University, it's our vision to make this knowledge available to everyone across the globe.
The time has come for us to bring in a new revolution in healthcare life sciences by marrying 5,000-year-old traditional Ayurvedic science with modern research-based science. We will be able to address diseases at the root cause level and not just cure it, but also prevent it. Our aim is to simplify Ayurveda, demystify this ancient science so we can apply it in our daily lives and have a more holistic approach to life at a body, mind and emotion level. Ayurveda is not just a science, it is an art, it is a language that we must all learn, because this is a language that nature uses to communicate with us. It is also a manual that has been given by nature, telling us how to take care of this piece of nature.
Namaste. I attended the workshop of Prana and it was so interesting, so engaging, so insightful. It was an eye-opener for me. I realized Ayurveda is not something you reach for only when you're unwell, but it is something you can practice every day for your own well-being and the well-being of your family. And I also realized how important it is to listen to the subtle messages from the self. So often my intuitive mind had pointed me in the right direction, but my intellectual mind came in the way and led me astray. So thank you, Dimple, and all at Prana.
Ayurveda is the quantum of everything. It is the energetic language that unifies all matter, and it's how we understand the different substances that we use to heal our body, mind, and spirit.
Imagine if you could control the elements in your body with the foods that you eat to fight disease.